got your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I think I'm going to tell the story of this week now.
Okay.
What do you think?
Sure.
Does that sound good?
Clap.
I'm going to tell you the story of this week because it's been insane.
All of it, when I opened the lid, almost made me throw up, and I've got a very strong stomach.
Have you been enjoying doing this?
No.
No.
Why do you think she's kicking?
So the second Thanksgiving came around, and it was like one of the most dramatic Thanksgivings of our whole life. Don't you think?
I would say so.
So we were having a great time. I was nursing Adeline, and Nathan came in, and I heard him yell from the entryway, "Mary, the calf got out. You left the door open." I was like, I can't do anything about it. I'm nursing the baby. I figured he was just gonna get her. So my brother and my cousin and my mom went out to help him, and 10
Your
minutes,
sister.
15, my sister, 10 or 15 minutes went by, and they didn't come back in. And it's freezing outside. So it was like 12 degrees, probably felt like less because of the wind chill. Then went outside. Yep, no, they hadn't found the calf yet. Nowhere to be found. They were people roaming all over our 40-acre property, and they were not finding the calf. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a 2.5-day-old calf. So that was terrible. So we looked for quite a while. We were looking all between all of the things. Nathan got out the drone, was looking up above. She's a black calf, and they tend to like find a spot and like curl up like a baby deer. We sent the mom cow out. She was no help. She went and just started eating some chicken food on the ground and did not look for her calf at all. So then more and more of my relatives came out. It ended up being like 10 people trying to find her. So I called our neighbor farmer who is really familiar with cows, and he said, don't worry, the calf won't go very far away from the barn. She's probably right around the barn. You just look really carefully and you'll find her. Nope, she wasn't. Not at all. Nope, Nathan and my cousin took the yard cart out and they found her way out in the forest.
We found her!
We found her! Wow, that's cool. Good job.
Yeah.
Way up on the hill, just happened to spot her. Thank the Lord. I was like praying under my breath the whole time, like, show us where. I mean, like, that would have sucked. That would have really sucked.
Yeah, she would have froze to death.
She would have froze to death for sure. Anyway, so we decided to name her Perry.
What's it stand for?
It means traveler or pilgrim, which fits nicely because our calf went way farther away than she should have, and because she was born on Thanksgiving when the pilgrims were thanking the Lord for whatever, I don't know. Which goes right along with our theme because they're all Sophie, Tilly, and Perry. Don't you think that sounds good?
Yeah,
Nathan said he doesn't think it's a cow's name, but whatever. I don't care. Okay, so that was just the start. The rest of the week was not nearly as fun. When we were looking for her, it was kind of like, oh, this is freezing and scary and everybody's so happy. Hopefully it turns out okay. Yeah, and it turned out fine. Thankfully, all's in well that ends well, right? But in the moment, we were like imagining her find frozen calf or whatever. So it turned out good. But anyway, that was just the tip of the iceberg for that week. It has been such a hard week, even though we've done this before. We've had a calf before. I don't think we've ever had one in the middle of winter, though.
No.
It has been so hard because we didn't have any of our systems set up. All right, hey guys, same story, different day. I started milking the cow the other day and it just got too crazy. Anyway, so picking up where we left off, well, basically the theme of the week following the birth of our calf was we were not ready. We were not ready at all. Every night after we got the kids down for bed, like late at night when we would normally be like sighing a sigh of relief, finally we get a break. No. Then we had to go out and do the hardest work of the day. So it's like day 4. We're going out to milk again late at night after all the kids are asleep.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying doing this?
No.
No, we hate it. We literally hate it. We're having to set up all the systems every single night. We get poop all over us, sweat, the dust from the hay. We've been breathing it in.
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. It's not magical at all. It sucks. And it's freezing outside and it takes like an hour and a half each time.
So why do you do it?
Because once we get it all set up, then it's going to be easy
Yeah.
and peaceful. But yeah, right now it sucks. So anyway, day one after Thanksgiving was over, we had to go milk. We had to start by getting the milk machine that someone who will remain unnamed left outside with milk in it for like 3 months. I know. I made a stupid decision over and over and over again to not clean out this milk machine. Ugh. You can already see the mold in it. Oh, it's so scary. When I finished my last milking with Sophie, I was just like so discouraged that I left this full of milk outside, and every time I saw it after that I was like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. I know, that's terrible. Ugh. So it's very stinky now. Oh,
Yeah, I actually dumped it outside like a week ago, and the smell of it when I opened the lid almost made me throw up, and I've got a very strong stomach, so it's disgusting. No, get that first. Get that first.
Oh, you can see it in there. Nasty. Oh.
Smell it through my shirt.
Oh. I didn't smell it until that one was like a hot walk. Oh. Man, that's disgusting. Oh, it's in these too. Oh. That is really bad. Oh, it's brown. Oh, it's like, that's really bad. Can you smell it?
Yeah.
It feels like it's like slightly burning like. It was really disgusting. So then we had to go out and milk her. We didn't have the head gate or the stanchion or anything like that in there. So we had to just try to milk her standing there with the baby. And she was just moving all around, trying to get away. We had a little bit of grain we were trying to give her in a tub, just laying on the floor. And she was just pushing it all around. It was a complete mess. She was kicking the milk machine off of her. It was just like, I've done this before 2 other times, and I don't know why, but this didn't seem any easier than the first 2 times. So the second day, the project that we did was we went to a local farmer and bought a small round bale of straw to put in the stall because we had nothing. That was like an extra hour of work, driving to his house and stuff. And then we had to clear out the filth they had already built up in the stall, and then put that down, and then go get some hay for Tilly as well, so she had something to eat, fill her water back up. Like we had to take those steps every night just because we didn't have a good system down. So it just adds a lot of extra work. So that was day 2. That was our project. On the second day, we got some straw. The third day, I think it was, we had a milk stanchion that we had built, basically just a head gate with a platform they could stand on. So we had that milk stanchion just sitting outside of the stall that they were in. We just moved the milk stanchion into the stall using our skid steer. We had to cut the top off of it. It was just another thing. It wasn't like a huge project or anything, but it's just whenever you go to do these things, they take forever. And so it still ended up taking 45 minutes or something to just move that into the stall. So we got the head gate in there the third day. That was a huge step up, but still, she was pooping all over the place. Tilly, come on. There was the bucket she was eating out of, we just like set on top of some hay. So she just kept pushing it all over, and it was still a mess, but it was slightly better. That's what you have to do. If you don't have a system set in place, you just have to kind of keep chipping away at it every time. On the 4th day, it was starting to get a little warmer outside, and the calf was getting pretty strong, and they gave us a real clear sign that they were ready to go back outside because they broke out again. And she's lost again. And we don't have 10 people to look for her this time. It's just Nathan and I. So I was super freaked out. I was like, seriously, again, like we don't need any more stress, any more craziness. Well, it turned out just fine because thankfully it had just snowed a little bit that morning, just enough to dust the ground. And we went out looking for it. And Nathan was like, oh, we can see your footprints. Nathan made a good point. Now that it's snowed, maybe we could just follow the feet prints.
Right here. Look.
Oh, hee hee. Oh, perfect little hoof. Oh my gosh. If we didn't have the hoof prints, seriously. We found her after like 3 minutes. It was so great. Last time we looked for, I don't know, half an hour or something with a bunch of people. She hadn't gone very far away this time, so it was perfect. She wasn't shivering or anything. We just went ahead and put them out in the field. And then we went and checked on them later in the day to make sure she was okay. And she was just like curled up in the hay. She was completely fine. So that was a huge help because as soon as we were able to move them out, then we don't have to clean that stall every night and replace the hay and replace the straw. That saved us so much time. So that was another big step forward in getting all these systems set up. So on day 5, I went out and took some time to build the attachment for the feed tub that sits on the front of the stanchion, so that when she was eating, she wasn't shoving it all over the place and all that. It's just like connected. So that was a good step. I think it was about day 6. We'd been, staying up late working on this. It was stressful for pretty much a whole week, and that was, for me anyway, Nathan's never stressed. Even though we were doing these things to make it better and really pushing, I felt like pushing pretty hard. It just felt like it was still really hard. I decided I wanted to put these horse mats out on there so I could clean the stanchion if she poops on there, because she was doing it like every time we took her out there. So Nathan came out with me and put the horse mats down, and we were kind of like arguing, and I just like completely lost it. Like it just had pushed me too far, and I just lost it. I was yelling at Nathan and I was yelling at the cow and I was having all these thoughts about like, just forget this. I am just going to get rid of these cows. I don't want to deal with this anymore. It's totally not worth it. This is so hard and it's not getting any easier. And maybe I could just sell her to a local farm and just buy milk. Like I was just hitting rock bottom at that moment, I think. Anyway, the next day our new milk machine got in because Nathan bought me a new milk machine without me even asking. He just realized the other one's just not working. It was a necessity at that point. So I'm really grateful for that. So our new milk machine got in. So that was the project for the next day. I spent all my free time that day putting it together and figuring out how it worked and cleaning it and stuff. So then we used that for the first time that night, which was still not easier because, you're using a new machine. But that was the turning point for me. That night's milk I kept because it had been about a week and I felt like her milk is probably not really much colostrum anymore. I finally got to try the milk the next morning and it just did something for me. I just tried our milk for the first time. It's still a little bit yellow, but it's really good. Which is so nice because it has been very hard. It has been so hard lately. I've been wanting to give up. Even though I've done this before, it's still been so hard. I've been having thoughts. And I finally get to drink it today. And it just makes me feel so much better. It's really creamy. Oh man, I just felt so much better. I am not that like in love with raw milk or anything, but this time was just different because I had fought so hard for that milk and it was just so creamy and so frothy and delicious and just it just touched my heart. I don't know. It just made me feel like I almost teared up. I was just so relieved to finally have what I'd been working so hard for. So that was definitely the turning point. Since then, things have gotten so much better. Tilly is just so much calmer. I'm calmer. She's not trying to kick the machine off. It's just like peaceful. Before I was just having to like monitor everything to make sure nothing went wrong. Now she just stands super peacefully. That is what I really wanted, and it really gets to the place where it's almost like kind of therapeutic, you know, being around the cow and just brushing them and being in the silence, you know, and I was really looking forward to being able to get back to that. So we've got our routine down now. We have so much more to do now and so much room to grow. We're certainly not on the other side of the improvements, but something I'm really working on is enjoying the journey. Really scraggly right now, right?
No. Nope, you're fine.
Can you flip it? It's been extremely challenging, but it's 100% worth it, isn't it?
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
Like having raw milk, it's delicious.
Yes.
Good for you.
It's just really hard right at first, figuring out your system and stuff.
Yep.
Even if it's not your first cow.
Yeah.
But don't give up. It's well worth it. Have a good day.
But made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.